Monroe Elementary Language Academy, or MELA as they call it, is our district's first dual immersion program. It's a standalone school that serves students who come from across the district and outside of the district to participate in an award-winning dual immersion program for their children from grades TK through grade 6.
Luego tenemos a Emilia.
The prime time for students to learn a language is their earliest years. Preschool, TK, kindergarten. And so by launching those students, we have students coming to Monroe in TK or kindergarten who have only spoken English in their home. And by the end of the 6th grade, they're completely fluent in, of course, their English, which is their native language, and Spanish, and are exiting from elementary with the level of proficiency that many college professors wouldn't have in a second language that might be even native to their home. Our students are an impressive 66% proficient in English language arts by the end of 6th grade, and that's with only 50% of their time spent in English instruction.
There are many dual language immersion programs across the country. We are estimating somewhere in the thousands, and every year they are becoming much more popular than ever before because parents and the community is starting to realize the benefits of being able to master 2 languages and the benefits of being able to be bilingual and biliterate, not just cognitive benefits, academic benefits, but the professional benefits that come with being able to master 2 languages in the long run.
He obviously didn't understand anything that was being said all day long, so that took about 3 months, and then he started to get it and understand things, and then he started getting comfortable with it, and now he's just thriving in it.
It was just like yesterday we were here. I remember the greet and meet, and we were not even sure which teacher he was going to have because he was on a wait list. I myself, I'm a Hispanic Mexican American, but I was not able to teach him those grammar, science, or math.
¿Compartió los juguetes con otros?
Teaching your second language for the first time in high school is too late. The research shows it needs to be taught at an earlier age. Garden Grove Unified School District is a very diverse district. In fact, the majority of our students come from a home in which English isn't the primary language. Spanish is our predominant language at about 55%, followed by Vietnamese at about 27%, and then we have 39 other languages. So we have very diverse linguistic population as well as nation of origin. So as we work with CABE, which is the California Association for Bilingual Education, they did an analysis of our district for us to give us ideas and suggestions of how we could support all of our English learners at the same time that we're promoting bilingualism, biculturalism, and biliteracy. And one of their recommendations was to start a dual immersion school, which we did.
Dual language immersion is a unique educational model where students have the unique opportunity to be fully bilingual, fully biliterate in a multicultural environment. So our goal is that by the end of the elementary school years, students are able to read and write and speak in both languages, in this case Spanish and English. Many times what we see is students that don't keep their language, then they start to have a disconnection with their own parents or with their grandparents because they're not able to communicate effectively because the language is not there. So programs such as this will provide our students that opportunity to bridge that gap and bridge that communication gap so that they are able to have those generational relations with their parents, with their grandparents, and other family members. We started off this 2016 school year with a cohort of first graders and kindergartners. We had approximately 170 students to start off, and now, 6 years later, our first cohort of first graders are now at the intermediate level at Fitz Intermediate, and we have grown to close to 600 students altogether.
For me, it was just an excellent choice that we made. We are bilingual at home, but just knowing that he was going to be introduced
to the language at school, he was definitely, I would say, nervous. But now he's so secure of himself. He's just shown so much maturity.
Before she entered school here, she understood everything in Spanish, mostly, but she had a very difficult time speaking Spanish. And then by Christmas, I heard her having conversations with her grandmother like nothing. And that was interesting and exceeded my expectations. But beyond that, the academics that she's learning through learning Spanish has been great. Not only that, also this emphasis on diversity, the celebration of diversity, has been excellent.
It's just given him, I think, a huge leg up, and he's excited for the challenges that lie ahead of him. He doesn't back down from any of it, and is eager to perform at a very high level and keep moving forward, which I think is great.
Tres. Okay.
And the teachers here have been amazing. The administration has been amazing. The staff has been amazing. It's a very comforting, loving environment.
Cassidy Morales.
This year is an exceptionally interesting year because it is the first year for the Monroe graduates or alumni from last year to be at the 7th grade level and be involved in our district's first 50-50 intermediate program at Fitz Intermediate.
My name is Sagrario Gil, and my students know me as Profesora Gil. I am currently a Spanish dual language teacher and a history teacher here at Fitz Intermediate Language Academy. This is my first year teaching middle school, but not my first year teaching our group of dual language scholars. I was their teacher in 1st and 2nd grade, and so now I have the privilege of seeing them 4 years after here in middle school. As a history teacher, I get to see other students as well. I think that there are definitely some differences I see in my classroom. They're willing to broaden their horizon a little bit more. I think they're also a little bit more critical. They tend to ask more questions about the content that we're reading. They're more inclined to be more inquisitive, right? They're making all those connections throughout the day.
Hay un valor de prueba de 40 puntos. Necesitas 36 puntos para obtener una A.
The benefit of bilingualism, biculturalism, and biliteracy extends beyond the school and even beyond the nuclear family unit to the extended family and community as a whole. The students that attend Monroe, that graduate from Monroe and go on to Fitz and then to Los Amigos High School, will have that benefit of maintaining primary language, whether it be Spanish or in our cases Vietnamese in our district as well, and to embrace and appreciate not just the language but the culture as well.
When I see them asking me a question, when I see them talking to one another, engaging in conversation and academic discourse, it warms my heart to hear just how far they've come. They've known each other for a long time, and so that trust, that confidence, right? They all have this sense of agency. They know what they're here to do. They're here to learn. That's the impact you want to see, that they're not using it just within the classroom, but outside in society as they're interacting with other people. So that warms my heart a lot.
Porque Brian nunca dio por vencido en las cosas que hice, y eso es porque sobrevivió el accidente.
I'm very, very grateful that I made this decision, and I think that he will also see that it's very important to know more than one language to succeed.
I am so grateful that we chose Monroe as the school to put our son in. The advantages that he will have moving forward compared to, well, anything that I ever had, that even my daughter was able to have an opportunity for, is just unbelievable. It's been an incredible experience. He's got an incredible education, well beyond what I could have ever expected for him going through grade school.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine us putting her somewhere else. We feel, at first we were a little bit, well, we don't know really what's going on. This is kind of new, this is kind of interesting. But now we know for sure it's been the right decision.
My advice to other families would be, if they are a little are hesitant and undecided, or are thinking of choosing a dual immersion program, especially here at Monroe, is definitely to go for it, to take that opportunity, to give themselves that opportunity for themselves, but especially for their children.